Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the TO Desk. We are on episode number 8. It's really been 8 so far. And I'm joined by familiar faces here. I got Corin. Corin, how you doing?
I'm holding together so far.
DJ Cream.
What's up? I just summoned Exodia. I'm feeling good right now.
I believe he's literally playing Yu-Gi-Oh right now. I can see it. Hagare.
What's good, y'all? See y'all from Japan.
Yes, shout outs from Japan. And lastly, Kumabo. Kumabo, how you doing?
Uh, that's a good question, but that's a long question. But I'm all right.
All right, cool. Keep it nice and simple. So, this is kind of the EVO episode, or the EVO, I guess, first episode for us. We got a couple topics to talk about. First, we're gonna go through a couple of numbers regarding Winter Gaiden, which is on its penultimate day. So we are currently live with SEA KOF 15, and then we are going to round it out with the last 3 regions of KOF on our Sunday. It's going to be Europe, Brazil, and North America. So we're going to just talk very briefly about the Melty Blood weekend, which caught in the middle of our release schedule. I have been hard at work on one of the things that here at 956 we care a lot about, which is having the results of our events easily viewable later. Because it's kind of hard to find that stuff later, and it's not always archived for long on these bracket services. So, yours truly has been slaving away in front of a code editor, coming up with an easy way to put Smash GG results into our own website. So, thanks to the success of that operation, I can read you off the top 8 of all of these regions, and I'm just going to do the winners with the greatest of ease because I have it here in front of me nicely formatted. So, Brazil Melty Blood, Red Hydra takes first place. EU Melty Blood was Zygarde. NA was Lunar. Very recurring face in top 8's Melty Blood and NA. SEA was, I don't know how to say this, HUHX, HUHX. I'm not really sure how to say that. And lastly, Black Bass taking South America. So congrats to all of them. I do want to shout out South America did an exhibition on Thursday for KO 15. That was sick. So I Beffin, which is one of the players in Melty Blood, actually, they put together the trailer for the KOF tournament, and I'm really always surprised by the way our regional partners like go above and beyond. Speaking of above and beyond, I am to understand that Brazil's KOF 15 stream, because it's on PC, will have a Winter Gaiden custom training stage, is what I'm supposed to understand. So you will see the logo of the event on the training stage. They put that together. This is not unheard of. I've seen it for Street Fighter V. I've seen it specifically NLBC Street Fighter V, that they have a similar thing set up. I'm a huge fan of that, by the way. It was one of my favorite like touches in Mortal Kombat 11, where they had the various like the tournament stage adapted to like the event. That was really cool. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that in action, and I really like mods or updates like that. I really like when developers do it, but I also really love to see it in action no matter what. So yeah, one last plug regarding our shop. Shop is still live. You can check it out at 956pro.com/shop. We still have our designs up. T-shirts, mugs, hoodies, hats, anything you can think of, it's there. So check it out. And we will do a wrap-up at the end of that. And then
pictures of the merch too.
Yeah, please. I saw a picture of one of the shirts. One of the, what is it called?
It was the Godshot shirt.
Yeah, the Godshot shirt.
Yeah.
It looks really nice. I was unfortunately having troubles placing an order down here. I'm hoping to get it resolved. But I saw that and I was like, ooh, that looks so good. It's a nice wide print area, and the quality looked nice, and the colors came out really bright. Super awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I've mentioned this in earlier shows, but one of the goals with the shop this year was to really up our game when it comes to the quality side of things, and from what it looks like, we've really accomplished that goal. So really happy to see that folks are enjoying what we're putting out. And again, yeah, shout outs to the artists that we work with, Godshot, Stalker, Rocker, and Wolf, for always coming out with some dope ass designs.
Yeah, I'm like super stalking right now. I need to go get myself a Stalker Rocker mug because I've actually been a true convert of like, these mugs, like all the art on them looks super clean, like more so than like even hanging up a print. Like the fact that it's like more practical. Like I always have my either Vortex Gallery mug or my Wolf mug in the morning. It was like, I need to go add to the collection now.
Especially the camping mug with the camping design, right? Like you can't
Yeah,
go wrong.
Oh yeah.
that one's super sick too.
Got that comfy Euro camp vibe.
I really like the shirts. I need to pick up the shirts, and I need a new.
How long will these be available for purchase?
So
So we're gonna have the shop at least open probably like a week after, well, this week, since this is the last week of Winter Gaiden. After that, we'll be closing up the shop for a little bit of maintenance. And we might be coming back with the designs at a future date, but we're not really sure. We have to talk with our artists and also talk with our shop partners. So I would say, like, if you want something, like, I mean, I know this is kind of cliche for folks to say, but yeah, get it now. I would highly suggest folks to get stuff now, because yeah, you never know what can happen in the future.
yeah. Speaking of the future, I guess with that, we will have a final wrap-up post, as I mentioned, for Winter Gaiden on our social media, on Twitter specifically. And now we must look to the future, at least a little bit, closer to the immediate future. EVO is back in town, and they have announced the well, first we knew the dates. It was going to be August 5th through 7th this year. They finally announced their lineup. So before I hand it off to Daryl, DJ Cream, because we need to talk business here very quickly, I want to talk about the lineup. So you guys have the lineup on the screen right now, and I put together a prediction, and I think I was wrong about one thing. So let me read it again. This was our collective, collective, but it's going to be option select into my prediction. Watch. So it's, my guesses were Street Fighter V. There it is. Guilty Gear Strive. There it is. I thought it was going to be Mortal Kombat 11 or Grand Blue. And both of them made it. So there's Mortal Kombat. Tekken 7, of course, there. KOF 15, it's there. Melty is there. DBZ is there. DNF Duel is not there. And I guessed that if it were not Grand Blue, it would be BBCF, Blaze Blue, and Blaze Blue's not there. Now, for what it's worth, I'm gonna blame BBCF on you guys because I did not think that Blaze Blue would be making it here. I am obviously thrilled to see Skullgirls here on the lineup. I had absolutely no reason to believe that Blaze Blue would come back so quickly, especially with the strong publisher support behind Grand Blue Fantasy Versus and Melty Blood and Guilty Gear. So a lot of people commented that there's a lot of anime games on this thing. How many anime?
So much anime.
Yeah, there's a lot of anime. This is a little more anime than usual.
They took our lineup.
Yeah, it's almost like it's Anime Evo or something. That's really crazy.
It's almost like anime games have been coming out very frequently in the last couple of years, and it's always the new hotness.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like the lineup of this Evo is like what? Like KOF, not even a year old. How old is it? Like a couple of months old. Melty Blood.
Months ago,
Yeah, like how old is Melty Blood now? 6?
Not
came
even
out.
6 months.
Not even 6 months, right? Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta think about when did we end last year's Vortex? Yeah, that came out immediately afterwards.
Yeah,
October,
there you go.
October.
Guilty Gear Strive was 2020 or was that 2019? Wait, no.
2021.
2021. Yeah, it got
2021,
delayed
yeah.
twice. That's why I think it was 2019. And Skullgirls still getting DLC. I don't know if Umbrella will be legal for this, and I don't know if Black Dahlia will be in alpha or beta, whatever they decide. I can't imagine that Black Dahlia will be competitively ready by then, but Umbrella might be ready.
Don't they
Yo,
have
who's-
one more character to announce?
Yes, they do. They have one more character to announce. I would
Probably
not be
gonna be
surprised if we
happening
see
at
that
EVO.
here. Yeah, I would not be too surprised to see that here. Dragon Ball Fighters is they have Lab Coat out now, so that is gonna be interesting.
That character
It's
is
gonna
a
be-
problem.
Is it gonna be bad?
I don't
No,
think
do not
so.
ban that.
I can't wait to see her be in like 6 of the top 8 teams this year.
Oh yeah,
Only
yeah.
six?
I remember when the stats came out for EVO top 8, like top. It wasn't even like top 8. It was like top 64 or something like that. And then they grabbed like everyone's characters, and Bardock was like 75% of the picks. I don't remember what the year this was.
Big yikes.
Yeah, I think that was the first year. That was the.
Yeah, it was the first year. It was-
yeah,
year,
that had to
year.
be the first year.
Yeah, that was fucking funny.
Yeah, I didn't say it can't be worse than Bardock, and then I remember Labco 21 has that attack debuff, and you're like, oh god.
Oh yeah, she's gonna
I
be.
need more.
Yeah, she's gonna be super degenerate, and I think a lot of people are kind of like downplaying that. They're like, "Oh, nobody's really." So, okay, hold on, we got to talk about this. I'm gonna soapbox for a minute. A lot of people have this kind of thing against online competition where they're like, "Oh, this isn't real competition." Like you can't say that Labco is busted. You can't say that Ralph is busted because you're looking at it because they're playing online. That's not busted. And for what it's worth, DBZ, I understand because I've been in the net play trenches of DBZ for years, and a lot of stuff kind of cheeses you with that awful delay that game has. KOF, I don't feel that. I think people are just kind of lying to themselves. But we're gonna see, I guess, potentially one of the first biggest. I don't know if it's the first, but definitely one of the biggest offline events with 21 on the roster.
I mean, there's Combo Breaker on the way.
Ah, yeah, Combo Breaker is gonna be on the way, so we're gonna have to
And
see.
Frosty happened as well.
Frosty was she out for Frosty? I know she wasn't.
I don't think.
No, right?
so.
No.
Oh no, that character. was
She
not
came
out.
out like 3 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about events in general. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Specifically, this character's placement in the meta.
Trying to
And
think
then
of what the most,
I will
like-
say, for like team games, like especially like 3-on-3 team games, historically, like when you look at like top 8s and stuff, there's usually like one or two, like a handful of characters who are like everywhere in the top 8, because they're super strong. I mean, that's just kind of the way that team games work, right? Like you find one character who is not only strong on point or as an anchor, but has synergy with a bunch of other characters. And then, that makes them strong, So say Marvel 3, right? We got Virgil. Marvel 2, we got Sentinel, Storm, Cable, etc. Skullgirls, like we have Double, right?
Yeah,
Double, yeah, like Philly, kind of. But, it's like, it's just a thing that happens in these kinds of games. So, like, yeah, it's kind of a little bit different when, a third of your roster is Goku. So it kind of, different variations of Goku. So it kind of looks like all the same. But,
yeah,
I think it's
I
fine.
think something that would be an interesting scientific exercise is to grab. I'm gonna assume that the lab coat's gonna show up a lot, so grab all the after the fact, should grab all the character ratio, right, and then go through like UMVC3 at Evo, or like Marvel, an old Marvel bracket or something, and see if the percentages of character picks look any different. Like any better or worse compared to that,
like comparing how many
like
people
if-
will run like
yeah, like-
lab coat versus
yeah,
like,
like-
Marvel
versus Doom,
Virgil.
probably.
Virgil or Doom or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly,
that, yeah.
exactly. Like how how diverse is Fighter Z actually, right? Like in comparison.
I mean, if we even go like we take the clock all the way back to like the Marvel 2 days. I mean, everything was either Santhrax or MSP, right? So
Well, Marvel 2 isn't a great example because there was some
Well,
good team variety, but you saw a lot of the same characters.
yeah,
Just in
and
different
the fact
variations.
that's a really old game that didn't have like the luxury of like bounce patches and stuff like that. So
well,
Right.
we didn't see a change up over the years, right? It's
yeah,
usually
exactly.
like
That might
the best
contribute to
team.
diversity. So I just
mean, probably the best way to think of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is a game that has like 12 actual characters and like 24 strikers you can pick,
Yeah.
or how many
Yeah.
extra other characters there
Hey,
are in the
man.
game.
Yeah, like when people are like, "Oh, like you never see this character in there," I was like, "Yeah, because a whole bunch of those characters are just thrown in because of assets, right? They have the assets
Yeah.
already. Let's just throw them in."
Mm-hmm.
But at any rate, yeah, I think DBFZ will be fine. Sure,
DBFZ
Labco's
will
a
be
strong
fine.
character, but it's early days. People will find counter strategies or pick her up.
For
I
what
think
it's
she's
worth,
cool.
I don't know what assist is good on lab coat, so that's gonna be something interesting to see. I actually have no idea what assist she even has.
I don't think anything will ever be as bad as I think it was like EVO 08, where Third Strike top 8 was like 5 Chun-Li's and 3 other characters.
As like every Evo
It was
third strike
Chun
is
Chun
in.
and Yun.
It's
Yeah.
all Chun, Yun, and Ken.
Maybe
all
some
day.
cans, some
Yeah.
cans, maybe at a Makoto,
I-
make it a Makoto
I-
Mike.
There was a
But
Ken
yeah,
one
it'll
time.
be fine.
It went places.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think like Examu Cup, like a couple years ago, whenever Six Stars came out, it was literally every single 3-person team had a Minori player on it. Like, I don't think anything will be as bad as that.
I don't know.
Easing on.
I will say I don't watch a lot of current MK11 or current Grand Blue, so this will be a nice opportunity to watch where that's at. Grand Blue still has
Yeah,
characters on the way. I don't imagine that they will be done
It's just
by
Vera, isn't it?
Evo.
At this point.
Well, there was that DLC character poll that they were like, "Oh, you got to vote on characters. We'll make
You know
them
what my pet theory on that is?
that they're gonna
That's
show them."
not for this game.
Oh, you think so? Oh, ooh, that's a bold one. I don't know.
Because if they're not gonna implement rollback into this game, and well, a side game says infinite money.
Okay,
B,
okay. I know where you're going with this. Everyone said the same thing about Dragon Ball, and it did not happen. I seriously.
Okay, there's a couple of key points there that I think are different. One, a lot of Cygames top directors and whatnot, like the director and producer of Grand Blue itself, the mobile RPG,
Yeah.
they're big fighting game fans. Like this is a project that they wanted personally from the jump. And there's also, I think, far more they could do in a Grand Blue Fantasy Versus sequel than you could do in a Dragon Ball Fighter sequel. Like, I honestly do not know where you could take TBFZ like for a whole sequel. Like, what would you do? I'd make.
I'm sure there's stuff you could do. I mean,
there's absolutely like my choice would be to change Super Dash into
just
Archive
fuck.
style.
I'll tell you what you can do. Yeah, first of all, you can change Super Dash. Yeah, because that would be like the number one thing. Everyone wants that changed, and then, if you're fucking crazy, you could do put in cross combo or active switch or whatever you want to call it. That would be disgusting, and I probably would not like it, but it would be a direction to take it. There's room, I think. They could change the throw system, which Dragon Rush is a very nice homage to Budokai, but it is also a little weird. So I don't know how I feel about that. You could take DBZ in a lot of directions for another sequel. I don't know if they will, but
a lot of those changes to sound like something you would do in like a major patch update. Like
I mean, they
update.
did, right? But
And they
the
did,
thing
yeah,
is,
they did some changes.
they can go back and they can change the roster. There's a lot of characters that they can draw from still, even if people joke about all the Gokus, but like.
Real quick, can I talk about another team game up on
Sure,
the
yeah,
roster?
fuck it.
I want to talk about Skullgirls.
Sure, go crazy.
I'm really happy for the Skullgirls community that they finally got their slot at EVO. I'm not like a little late, but I mean, you know what? They kept on. I mean, there's still new content for the game coming out, right? So
It's so crazy.
I mean, good shit to them. I'm not sure what I haven't been in tune with the Skullgirls community to see what the reaction was.
Largely
to,
positive.
The announcement.
Positive,
I mean,
positive,
I feel like it would be, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really happy for them. It's definitely a well-deserved spot in my opinion. People are always like, oh, who plays Skullgirls? Like a lot of people play Skullgirls. It's just that sometimes they don't cross over to like the other like mainstream games like SF5 and stuff. So
Dude,
definitely looking
Skullgirls
forward
players love Skullgirls.
Yeah, Skullgirls players
Exactly,
play
yeah.
Skullgirls. It's like any other game, like in Tekken or with Guilty Gear or Melty Blood or whatnot. I honestly see that with Melty Blood even, where people are like, oh, it's a dead game.
Mhm.
And people will post up Steam charts numbers, and then you go and look at entry numbers for something like
Oh,
what happened,
multiple players
Frosted
show up.
Crossings,
Yeah.
and you're like, wait, where do these people come from? And you're like, people are, they're just talking about it amongst themselves. Like, there are huge games that you don't know about because they don't penetrate the noise that is social media nowadays.
I mean, the ecosystem in Skullgirls, like the Skullgirls Championship, wrapped up. I think 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
That was like a $10,000 prize pot, something like that, maybe more.
Yeah. Yeah, they just had a tour. Combo Breaker has historically been their like biggest event where everybody comes out. So with Combo Breaker happening just months before Evo, like it'll be really interesting to see like where that kind of what the storyline will be for Skullgirls there coming into Evo. So looking forward to that.
And personal point of pride, 2 poverty quote unquote games on the Evo roster. It's very funny. Several games that have been on Mizumi Wiki eventually grew into Evo main stage games. Shoutouts to Under Night. Here we are with Skullgirls, and here we are with Melty Blood, the sequel. So that is cool. I like. Seeing
did we
these
praise
titles.
Melty Blood at all? Yo, let's go Melty Blood.
Let's go Melty Blood. Yeah, no, we didn't.
Yeah,
we didn't say
right?
anything about that. Yeah.
Melty.
12. It's been 84. No, only 12.
It's been 12 years. It's been 12 years.
12 years since the last Melty in Evo.
Where
so.
was I 12 years
12 years
ago?
since my first
2010. Fuck, I don't remember what I was doing when I was 12. 2010. How old was I? I was 12. Shoot.
I just turned 21 that year, boy. That was an Evo.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
shoot, yeah, I bet.
I do remember that Evo somehow. The best of times, the worst of times. Probably my single biggest choke. Personally, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got caught in the Garu bracket, so my bracket days were numbered. So
Please, Dippy, your biggest choke so far.
oh yeah, come back to playing Melty Blood.
You got plenty of plenty of gas left in the tank for Type Blue now, I'm sure. Yeah. Also, something that caught my eye is that we were talking about this before the show. Is that a couple of these games are first to 3 all the way through bracket. Shock Horror Mortal Kombat is first to 3 entire bracket. I find
is it
that
easier to say which games aren't first to 3?
No, it's only 2. It's only 2.
It's only 2. Okay.
Well,
Which
okay, there's only 2 that stand out. The others are normal. The 2 are Guilty Gear Strive, 3 out of 5 the entire way, and then Mortal Kombat 11 is 3 out of 5 the entire way. Now, Skullgirls is 3 out of 5 always because
Normally.
because it is always like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball Fighters is 3 out of 5 only for winners, losers, and grands. Because that is why it's just a really long game. And the same is basically true for everyone else. So the big ones are Guilty Gear Strive is first to 3. I know there was a lot of talk about that way back. And then MK11 is first to 3. MK11 is a very long game to run. Very time consuming.
I'm not an MK player. I don't get why that game is 3 out of 5.
I don't because that game
is it normally like that?
Yeah,
like
I have no idea. So Kumabo, you always say that Melty Blood is like very balanced, right? Like damage is always very balanced. Do you say that like Type Lumina? You always say like damage is very balanced.
Oh yeah, no, Type Lumina, yeah,
Type Lumina
normalized.
Okay, damage is normalized. Okay, MK11 is that everyone does 20 to 40% damage per combo, and I mean, unless you have like now for what it's worth, they added a mechanic where you can go higher than that. Where if you catch someone, doing a random, like, very predictable breakaway, and you hit them with your, what is it called? Breakaway crush or something like that. There's like a move with a specific property where if you hit them while they're breaking away, it like pops them back up into a juggle state, and then you get more damage. So that did get added late in the life of MK11. Sort of like that.
Counter breaker, crush counter, kind of that.
Yeah. It's a little not used very often. But it is there.
It requires like a rock hard read.
It is, it is only reads basically. So this game is I like MK11 first of all. What I'm gonna say is that I do feel damage is very normalized in that game. So I would not be surprised to see this be like a Saturday game, like go for like hours. Sounds like a long one.
I think it's gotta be a Friday game.
You think it's gotta be a Friday?
It might be a Friday, Saturday kind of deal.
Oh yeah, Friday, Friday into Saturday.
2 days for sure.
Yeah.
Like if it does make it, like let's see, how many games are usually on main stage? Is it 5?
There's 5 on Sunday, typically.
5 on Sunday, yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, I could see, especially with Smash not being on there. I could see definitely, one kind of from each quote unquote publisher, even though we have more than 5 there. But yeah. I think we could. So it would be a Friday, Saturday, and then if it's on main stage, I could see a top 8 there. But 2 days, yeah, definitely
2 days for sure. This is gonna be a long one.
Yeah. Like after they, if it is on the Sunday stage and Gear is on the Sunday stage, expect those to be back to back because they're gonna be like, oh shoot,
I think it's gonna be okay.
We need to make up some time after throwing Gear. Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Guilty Gear's not on
Yeah. Let's talk about that really quickly.
Did they not announce the Sunday games already?
No.
They usually do.
No, they have not announced schedule.
No, not yet.
Yeah, not like I feel like they only announce like what games are on Sunday as soon as like the Sunday tickets become available.
Well, they are available.
Yeah, they are available.
Are they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
The arena pass.
Sunday lineup is usually, I think.
Yeah, and there's no assigned seating anymore.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's
really
nice. Cool.
Okay.
Oh, that's tight. So that means you can just like hop in and out depending on what game you really want to spectate.
Mhm.
So
Yep, as long as you
that used to be a huge problem. A lot of like the Smash players used to like take up all the seats like by mid-afternoon, so it was really hard to like grab.
And then shoot, like you see your homie that you haven't seen in years, you're like, oh yo, what's up? Like where you sitting? Actually, there's already people sitting next to me. We can't swap seats.
Yeah.
I still think that's going to be an issue because it's not like they're double booking seats. The main change is that the floor seating in previous years was assigned. So like when you bought a floor seat, you'd be like, okay, you're in row 6, section 5, seat K, and now that's just general seating.
Yeah.
I think especially for our community, it's a nice change.
Yeah, it is probably for the best.
Speaking of nice changes, water.
Definitely announcement worthy right there. Man.
That was huge.
Water bottles for everybody.
Water bottles.
Dude, nice.
A badge and a bottle at the door. Get hype.
Yeah.
Don't lose it.
Don't lose it.
I mean, I think that's definitely a sign of kind of a different, not EVO's still like EVO, right? But it is definitely helmed by a different person, and that different person is taking things in a little bit of a different direction that we saw even through the announcement show itself, right?
Oh yeah.
So it is somebody who before it was like everybody would talk about water, EVO would never acknowledge it, and it was just a known thing that we never knew if water was going to be an issue or not, right? But now it's like straight up, like we know what's up. We've heard y'all for years. Like water's gonna, not only is water gonna be there, but you're gonna get a cool water bottle to put it in. So.
I hope it's got like a cool design or something. That'd be cool.
I don't know, something about all the water bottles I get at fighting game events, like are super like cool.
Yeah, that's
really
what I'm saying.
Cool. Like I have my own water bottle that I always carry around everywhere. That I'm just gonna use that because it's like insulated and shit. But like, for example, the one I get at what Anime Ascension. Like that water bottle
Yeah.
was super sick. Yeah, it was like it had a
It was like blue
filter kind of thing.
translucent, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that thing was super dope. And then I forget another event. I got another water bottle, and it was just like really awesome. Like something that you wouldn't, not just like your normal, whatever free event water bottle, but something really interesting. So I mean, I don't know if that's going to be the case this time, but there's precedent.
For what it's worth, we don't know about that. I just kind of have the expectation because like usually those are not bad, and I mean we're talking about the general manager being the combo breaker guy,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
combo
if
breaker
anybody
merch
does
shows
merch,
up,
right?
yeah, right,
Like, yeah.
like combo breaker merch shows up everywhere on fighting game like streams and stuff. You see commentators wear their jacket or their flannel or whatever.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
definitely. Having talked to Rick about stuff before, like he loves merch. Like that is something that he has a big passion for. Even before being like head of Combo Breaker and stuff, like that was something that he always cared about. So
I respect.
Yeah,
looking
like
forward
every
to it.
year, all the art coming out of like Combo Breaker, they definitely has its own like Rick actually has like some sort of like style he's trying to represent with Combo Breaker, and it really shows. I really dig it, to be honest.
All right.
I'm always happy and sad when his merch comes out because I'm happy because it's all dope, but then damn, my wallet be hurting.
I want to ask a question to talk about our little previous thing. A couple people have been guessing what game do you think is going to close out the night at EVO. So there's really two answers to this, kind of, right? Will they close it with Street Fighter V, or will they close it with Guilty Gear, right? So these are very big fighting games. Street Fighter V could very well have a Street Fighter 6 tie-in, right, to close the night. Not unheard of, because that was Street Fighter V's trajectory.
I'm gonna edge nah. I feel like if they're gonna reveal Street Fighter 6, it has to be at a bigger trade show like E3 or TGS.
Now keep in mind, Sony owns EVO. They're going to want this to be part of their media and advertising play for all of PlayStation, and it's probably one of their bigger esports games because fighting
All
games
Stars 2?
Fighting games are kind of the one esports subgenre that are still
Sony
played
has
on
unlocked.
console for now. Even though you look at like the Guilty Gear Strive and Multi-Blood sales numbers, and you're like, people are buying this on in Tekken even. People are buying this on PC more.
A lot of that is people just can't get it like a new console these days.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a few things.
Yeah, so what do you think? You mean, do you think Guilty Gear will close it out? Do you think Street Fighter's coming back to close it out? Do you think it's going to be something else? Like, what's the vibe?
I mean, hold up. Yeah, if we're talking about a new game announcement, like, there's, Tekken's getting up there in age, too, man. Like,
yeah, I was going to say Tekken is the other one.
There's a lot of, I mean, we're talking about the last in-person event, right, with Arslan Ash, like that whole, like that's like everybody knows that, even outside of the FGC, right? Like that's a pivotal moment. So there's that kind of argument. There's close ties between people who work with Tekken and EVO as well. Could be something, but although I will say, maybe they do an arcade style thing like they did with Tekken 7 first. I don't know, hard to say, but I would say don't count that one out as the final game.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually going to give another answer, and it's kind of a cop-out answer though, and that answer is whatever game gets the most signups.
Oh, I mean,
I don't know what that would be, to be honest.
I think probably it's going to be whatever company has the highest investment in EVO right now, which I think is probably either Cygames or Capcom.
There's no way.
Grand Blue closing out the night would be so fucking funny.
In 2019, we basically thought, oh, looks like Cygames is like looking to buy EVO because their logo was everywhere, and they didn't even have a game out at that point.
They had EVO cards in Shadowverse. That was so weird.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, can I play like Ghost of Marvel in Shadowverse? Is this something that I can do that I'm not aware of?
Like
Shadowverse is about to have a physical TCG, dude. Like that's coming out very soon.
That sounds like the opposite of what makes Shadowverse popular. I thought that thing was huge because it's like a digital game. I mean,
it's pretty much Japanese Hearthstone. Let's be honest, man.
I'll take your word for it.
That was rude as hell for you to say.
It really is Japanese. It really is anime Hearthstone with the anime TD, but it's in slightly less variants. At least when I played it, I played way too much of it.
Yeah, big same. Funny enough, like when the first year of like Shadowverse came out, we like me and Kumabo was hella thinking about trying to like do some sort of side tournament for it, but we couldn't figure out the logistics at the time.
Yeah, there's no way we could have, and actually having seen how like the big rage qualifiers for the World Grand Prix run in Japan, there's no way we would have been able to run that.
Oh nah.
I ran a Shadowverse side tournament at one point back when we had an event at the casino, and it was a pain in the butt to do it. We ended up having to run it out with everyone on their phones, and we just did private lobbies.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I imagine it would go. Yeah.
That's how the rage qualifiers work outside of top 8. You're just playing on your phone. It's basically seeding like an MTG Grand Prix, except everybody's on their phones or tablets.
Do you happen to know if like those tournaments are also like open deck lists? Because I know you gotta like submit 2 or 3 different decks in Shadowverse.
Yeah, you have to submit deck lists for those tournaments.
Okay.
Even that, because I played in some of the Shadowverse Open ones for NA, and yeah, you had to submit deck lists in advance.
All right.
Very interesting.
TO brain, you know, I want to figure out whatever the rule set is for anything competitive.
We're gonna put this on the TO quiz. Was that? Did we have that? Was that? Hold on, really quick. Was the TO quiz something we talked about? I swear we talked. We didn't talk about it on the episode, the TO quiz. Like the we got to talk about that at some point.
I'm gonna cut that out for now.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about it later. Now, all right. I've taken enough time away from Daryl. So
right.
let me just preface this. This is going to be EVO 2022, and if you are looking at the video, you will see that we're back. So let's get started on that. Daryl, we're back. Is that true?
Yeah. Okay. So here's what's going on right now. So one, we're gonna be wrapping up Vortex Gallery Winter Gaiden today. So that's kind of our focus for this past Evo reveal week. But once we wrap up Winter Gaiden, close out all that stuff that happens afterwards, we're gonna start going full time into figuring out the logistics of how we're gonna run Vortex Gallery at Evo. Basically, we're looking internally at our previous TOs that we've worked with, taking inventory of who's showing up to Evo, second, who wants to run stuff at Evo. But like once we start figuring all that stuff internally, then we can start bringing out some sort of what we usually do every year, which is bring out a volunteer forum for TOs who want to help run stuff at the BYOC at Evo, and then we'll bring that out hopefully sooner rather than later. And then if you want to work with us, we're happy to show you, to help guide you guys on how to run side tournaments at Evo. I know it's a lot of struggles every year, especially when it comes to figuring out time schedules and whether or not setups are a thing. But that's kind of what we do every year. Previously as Anime Evo and now as Vortex Gallery, is like we want to work with every TO that's going to be showing up to Evo and help run their respective games that they want to represent at Evo. Because previous years we always do the games that missed the Evo lineup, and this year is no exception. If you want to run, I don't know, like Marvel 3 or what's an anime game that missed a cut? BBCF? Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, BBCF.
Sengoku Basara Cross.
Yeah, Sengoku Basara Cross.
Yeah. Especially Uni.
That was such an obvious
Uni.
like Sengoku.
Yeah. So if you want to see those games at Evo ran as a side tournament, we're always there every year to help everyone try to figure out how to best use their time schedule and try to figure out setups and stuff like that. So in summation, Vortex Gallery will have a presence at Evo at the BYOC. This is pretty much an open call out to say, hey, if you're a TO that wants to run a game that didn't make it onto the Evo stage, just contact, we'll be sending out a Google form on how to get in contact with us, and then we can potentially collaborate and help bring a side tournament to fruition at Evo.
Yeah,
pretty much the same thing we do every year.
Yeah.
If you're a commentator or streamer, we also help you guys out too. Like we've been doing this for years, and we've kind of learned how to finagle hotel Wi-Fi to help stream
Yeah.
something.
Get an image,
Yeah.
a picture on a screen somewhere.
I still cannot believe to this day that has not blown up in our face.
I know, like I feel like there's only
It's
one
going to.
time, like there's like
It
one
will.
time where like internet, like the hotel internet didn't cut out for what, Gundam one year. That's why we did. That's why one of our years.
No, that
Gundam
was when
got...
Smash GG died. Like Smash
Oh, the
GG,
site
the
itself.
service died. Yeah. So
Ugh.
like, yeah, it happened to Gundam, and like there's a few like official mainline games that were still finishing up their pool. So
Yeah,
we were
Anime
like,
Evo 2019
oh shoot,
technically never ended.
Gundam is
Yeah.
still
Gundam
going
is still
on.
going.
it's an endless duel, man. It's just
They're
an
still
endless
fighting.
duel.
Pro TO tip: print out your brackets as soon as you finalize them, and then make sure to bring hard
Yes.
copies to the event.
Paper brackets as backups is
The
gotta
evolution
do it, man.
century, but
You know how much I spend every year printing the Anime Evo brackets for Evo? About
Yeah.
$8.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, fun fact. But like, which year was it where we've pretty much forced Smash GG to actually make printable brackets like actually viewable? Because
Oh
like there was
yeah.
that one year where like it didn't register like buys correctly, so the printouts look real weird. So we had to put in like a request to Smash to be like, hey, can you update how brackets are like actually like visualized and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, that's 26. Because in 2016 they didn't have printable brackets at all, I think. And then, so they added
Yeah.
that the next year, and then I think we noticed it's like, hey, these buys are all messed up on the, like they're correct on the site, but when they're printed out,
When
they're
you
all
printed them out,
they're
they
all
were
wrong,
messed up.
and they're like, hey, this is broken.
Yeah,
so
we
they
were the first
actually-
ones to reach out to Smash, and then Evo, mainline Evo was also like, yeah, we experienced that too. Like after the event, like we were up there in the Smash chat, being like, yo, what's up with these printable brackets? Like, is there something that we could do to fix them? And then they looked at them like during, while we have events running, and you're like, yeah, about that. And we are just like, well, okay, well, can't really rely on that right now. But
But a shocking twist, it actually did get fixed.
Yes,
it did get
they're
fixed.
super
I mean,
doable now.
shout outs. Yeah. Shout out. Yeah, printable brackets are definitely very useful right now and correct. So shout out. Yeah, I know it's a very cliche TO thing to rag on Smash, but there are some good people who work there and who do listen, right?
Yeah, and
If you've never used that chat thing before, when a problem happens, I would highly suggest. It's annoying. It's like that bubble's always there when you're trying to run a bracket, but whenever something does happen, there's somebody who usually is able to help out there. So
Okay, yeah, no, the Smash GG actually does a lot, right? As much as we rag on them for all the stuff that breaks, and that is part of it. They are responsive when stuff does break, because we've broken their brackets in some hilarious
oh
ways
yeah,
in the
we've broken
past.
Smash back and forth, up and down, like we've broken.
I mean, dude, considering how many games we typically run every year, it's like, all right, there's always some sort of growing pains that we're forcing Smash GG to like consider.
That's what we're here for. That's what we do. It's our space in the ecosystem to break it. They can fix it.
We were just trying to troll Ace King Upsuit.
Yeah, same. Yeah, we break Ace King, but we can't be too.
Yo,
rough
he's
on him.
asking for it this year, dude.
He's looking for smoke. So
Yeah.
We will give him that smoke.
To help us bring the smoke.
Hey, he was talking shit about Winter Gaiden.
Yeah, he was saying it was easy.
Only 15 tournaments. Yeah.
Only? Come on.
Yeah.
You know what? He's right.
But speaking of which, there was something that I did want to add in regards to how we do stuff at EVO. For those who don't know, we were previously called Anime EVO. And there's always a kind of misconception that people always thought, oh, we only run like anime games or Air Dashers or ArcSys games. And then, people who say want to run, like, I don't know, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? I remember for the first few years, they thought that they couldn't run it with us because it wasn't an anime game. Until, and we talked with the community and they're like, oh, and we're like, we run anything. Like, I mean, we've run Catherine, we run Puyo Puyo Tetris.
We'll probably
we
run Catherine again.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, that is one of the reasons why we changed our names to Vortex Gallery. Just to, make it clear that we run the whole gallery. What we do is the whole gallery of, not just fighting games but competitive games. So if you're not in somebody, a traditional community that we've worked with before, like, no problem. Like, submit your event to us, like, and then we'll help you how to do this and how to make it work at Evo, because sure, maybe you run side events at like a different major or something, but one of the reasons why we started making this group as a whole thing is that running stuff at Evo is a whole new ball game, because there's so many other factors to consider. Yeah, we're I'll say it, we're pretty good at what we do. So
Yeah, I mean, we
definitely
got
if you're
so many
interested.
years of experience of like, putting up with the frantic pace of, trying to figure out who's available for what at Evo, right? It's like, yeah, sure. There's like only 9 games at the Evo lineup, but like sooner, like when Evo happens, there's usually about 20 to 30 side games, and finding the specific person, that takes that takes a lot of planning to like, prep for.
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference. Is just the scale Evo operates at. It is just so much more space, so many more people, so much more stuff happening.
So many more
It's
games.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Even if you're an
keep up
experienced
with.
TO,
Yeah.
like the skill set of doing something at Evo is very different. Like chasing down a player for like an important match at Evo is a very different experience to when you have like your own venue, or like you're at a smaller venue, or you're online.
If you ever try to chase somebody down the Evo Hall, like the Mandalay Bay Evo Hall from like 2018, 2019, you're legit doing the 1,500-yard dash. You need
Yeah.
cardio.
Can we
Also,
name
like,
names? There's only one name that I'm going to talk about. Whenever I'm running something at Evo, I try and keep, if I see Vicky Viper, I try and keep an eye on her because I know someone will be looking for her eventually.
I guess something to think about this year is Guilty Gear, Melty Blood, Skullgirls. We said, those communities have, kind of their own thing, but they also have a fair bit of penetration with a lot of these more niche games, right? So, I mean, we can't say that we're running these things or anything, but you wouldn't be surprised to see so many people go to Type Lumina that somebody wants to run a multi CC side event, right? Like that is a big game in terms of entrance. Still, that is still pretty big.
I feel like I'm not saying it's gonna show up at Vortex Gallery or not, because I have no idea which TOs are gonna step up for it. But I feel like when we run Persona 4, whoever's running Persona 4, there's gonna be so many crossover
Oh yeah,
among its players.
Persona completely. Yeah, I mean that is, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't, Uni was every year, prior to being main stage, so I'm sure they would like to be back, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking of like KOF 15 being a main game and all the other SNK games that get.
Oh yeah, SNK heads are gonna show up in droves, dude, and they're gonna be like, "Where's my Garo? Where's my Sam Show? Where's my retro KOF? Where all that stuff."
Who's Breakers?
Where is
When's
Breakers?
Breakers?
When's Breakers?
God
And
knows.
the usual suspects, like we just mentioned TMNT. Obviously we don't know the time frame on this, but there was that TMNT collection that got announced, so I wouldn't be surprised if people have a little more interest in finding out what TMNT is. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody were interested in bringing TMNT XJL, something like that. Nice surprise. Obviously.
as long as it's not the Sega version, I think we're gonna be good.
Oh yeah, no, Super Nintendo, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I
the
think
collection has all the version. It has the SNES, Genesis, and NES. I didn't even know there was an NES version.
Yeah, there is. There is.
See, I've known there's an NES version. I just never seen how but ugly it looks.
Yeah, no.
To be perfectly honest.
No, it's not a very beloved thing. So yeah, we can only make speculations as to who is gonna work with us this year. But I will say, if you are thinking about it, start thinking about what you have and what you need, because that is ultimately what we exist to do. Some of the I think it was Terry that said this. That part of the reason that we exist is to coordinate needs. You may have a couple of PS4s and you're gonna run a big game bracket, and we're all invested in having that success, having that game there, because a lot of us are passionate for games that even we don't necessarily run. So, having the ability to mutually support each other is super important.
Yeah, coordinate staff, coordinate equipment, coordinate streams even.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, we'll have streamers run multiple games even for stuff they normally don't run.
Oh yeah.
Just to help each other out.
If you're gonna run something weird, like something that doesn't run on a PlayStation, start thinking about it now. I would rather you make this. You legitimately need to make this decision. Now, more or less. You need to start thinking about it, especially because EVO passes are not expensive. They're expensive. Early bird is only like $10 less or something like that. So,
$80 for both days.
Yeah,
so,
there you go. So I mean,
those registration fees have been going up across the board ever since people have been starting coming back from the pandemic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I guess that's the reality of it. It's just price, inflation, prices go up. Sponsorship money, even when it's there, is potentially transient.
Oh yeah, I wholly suspect that side events this year. I mean, I've never said this. I think around you guys, so it's gonna be kind of corny to say it. Every year when EVO would get announced, I check side event schedules. I am a big fan of TVC, so I would watch TVC. When it was there, I would watch random anime games. Yeah, I would always watch random anime games. I liked watching Street Fighter, the Street Fighter brackets. I still do. But yeah, side events have always been kind of the thing that I was really interested in. I was like, oh, what crazy side events are we gonna see this year? So it's kind of crazy that I'm sitting here in a group call with 4 other people who were responsible for those things that I watched. So that's cool. That's cool for me. I'm looking forward to it, and if it's not obvious right now, I'm going to EVO this year. I've never been, and that's gonna be the next topic of our conversation. So I want to pick you guys' brain about EVO, about Las Vegas. So I've never been. So all right. Let's set the stage. First of all, I've never been to Las Vegas. I've never been to EVO. This is completely different for me. So I need you guys to give me some input. So I'm sure a lot of people also who are signing up or thinking about going have never been to Las Vegas either, right? They either like it or they don't, right? I'm sure there's returning crowd, but there's always so like this year, like the advertising the artist alley and the casual setups and the booths and all that stuff, right? So there's EVO has always had kind of this like trade show appeal that they want to sell. Like they want you to go and buy merch and see trailers and stuff, and so that attracts a lot of people who might not otherwise be interested in going. So I'm gonna ask you guys, I'm gonna go down the list, I'm gonna ask you guys for one thing that I should know about going to Las Vegas on EVO weekend. You can tell me whatever you want, and if you have any anecdotes to share, go crazy. So Corin, why don't you tell me what I should know if I'm going to EVO?
Stay hydrated and moisturize is actually a good tip.
Okay.
The air is super dry and dusty, so like making sure that you don't dry out is pretty good. Like I don't know if you've ever been to like a kebab shop or a donair shop or whatever, or even just stood in front of an open oven. It's kind of like that when you're outside because it's just so dry and so hot.
Yeah, you were telling me it's like a dry heat.
Yeah, it's super dry.
It is extremely. It is a desert.
It is a desert.
It is extremely dry.
And you will forget when you're inside because they like have so much air conditioning, but like when you're outside, it is like standing in front of an open oven.
Okay.
Yeah, I that's the first thing I was gonna say. It is goddamn hot.
Okay.
Because it is the summer, and frequently there's a heat wave when EVO is on.
Yeah. So yeah, well, even if you don't think you're gonna be out, it's like have some sun lotion and a hat and stuff like that to protect yourself from.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna have to. I need to buy one of our Vortex Gallery hats. I'm actually gonna do that.
Oh yeah, the bucket hats.
Oh yeah,
the stay hat.
We have use of that.
Yeah, you will get use out of that, guaranteed.
Oh, speaking of the heat, actually, this is a pro tip. Is like when you actually do make it to the EVO venue at at Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
It's actually connected to 2 or 3 different hotels, all connected by like a over the street like crosswalk. So you can book into one of these several hotels nearby, and you don't even have to step outside to go into the get to the EVO venue.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
So
specifically
even though it's at the
Luxor.
Mandalay,
Yeah.
people tend
specifically,
to stay at the Luxor.
yeah, the Luxor is usually the cheapest. Actually, best value, because actually the Excalibur is the cheapest, but it's also one of the oldest hotels on the strip. So yeah, maintenance on there pretty sketch. So I don't really recommend the Excalibur, but it's the cheapest hotel if you need to, if you must.
I don't think the Excalibur is that bad, honestly. It is definitely old. It is also generally cheaper. But honestly, how much time are you spending in your room? Unless you're hosting casuals, and that is an actual consideration if you plan on doing that.
That's the funnest thing to do at EVO is have casuals in your room.
That is one more fun things. Yeah, but hopefully, they're talking about expanding the BYOC space, expanding, the side game area. Hopefully, there'll be more space on the floor.
Yeah, I would say I agree with Daryl with DJ Cream. How Luxor's kind of like the Goldilocks pick, right? Like, yeah, Mandalay's great. Don't get me. I've stayed in all 3 of them now. It's been a minute since I stayed in Excalibur. But yeah, I think Luxor is kind of like the best balance between expense and distance from the venue and niceness of the hotel. With that said, I would try to not get. I don't like the pyramid rooms. I know pyramid rooms are a little bit cheaper than the other rooms, but since it is in a pyramid, if you get one of the outside rooms, like you get this big old slanted ceiling, and I mean, I'm not even tall, right? And I bumped my head into that things like countless numbers of times. So
yeah, there's definitely some clearance issues in those slanted hotel rooms.
Yeah. So
and the notable thing about the Luxor is you can legit walk from Luxor to the Mandalay Bay Convention Center without ever having to go outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the
that
tech.
Is super nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the benefit of a connected hotel. Yeah,
whereas with Luxor, they do have a shuttle or is it a monorail even that runs from between Excalibur, Luxor, and Mandalay Bay, and that runs pretty regularly, so you can actually rely on it as long as you're not cutting it super close.
The monorail is actually a really good tech choice if you want to explore the rest of the strip.
And they've recently expanded the monorail with the big Roomba that the Raiders play in now. And I think that actually goes all the way to the airport.
The big Roomba.
Roomba.
Oh, it goes to the airport now? What?
Oh, it's sick.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That's actually super sick.
That's huge.
Let me confirm that, because I know that was been a plan for a while, and a lot of that was tied to.
Because I might actually do that. I might actually recommend that over taking a shuttle. Oh, that's another thing. Like if you want to get from the airport to the hotel and the monorail doesn't connect there, like at this time, then taking a shuttle is like one of the cheaper options.
Taking a shuttle. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Although we're recommending, the connected hotels, there's cheaper options out there. I know expense is always an issue when it comes to going to Vegas. For those of you who haven't been there, Vegas is mad expensive. Everything there is expensive. The rooms, the food, the water, which is a big deal. Why there's water at EVO this year. Everything is super expensive. So if you're, definitely on a budget. I remember the first few times I went to EVO, I was rooming with 10, 12 other local heads in one room.
Yep.
Just doing the best I could, Yeah. So definitely understood. So there are, hotels that are further off. That's when you want to look into like kind of shuttles, maybe using the monorail to get around. I mean, of course, you could walk the strip, but like we said, it's hot AF to walk that. Of course, ride shares is an option, but keep in mind that Las Vegas strip traffic is
nuts.
Is as bad, if not worse, than like rush hour big city like NYC, Bay Area, LA. Like it's that bad. It's just bumper to bumper the whole way. You ain't going nowhere. people driving crazy. There's always like some lanes that are cut off for whatever reason.
Bro, those
So
those Vegas strip like tour buses, they don't give a care, dude. They're like 7 on incoming,
mhm.
dude. They'll just hard drive into various lanes, dude. Like
Yeah,
it is
so
wild.
I do have to correct myself. The monorail does not extend past MGM Grand, so it
okay.
runs from Westgate to MGM, which is close, but it's further. Like, and that's one thing I was gonna say. Everything is like, oh, that casino is just one building down. That's a 20-minute walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is bigger than it seems.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and there are very few straight lines in Vegas. Like the strip, the street is like, if you're walking outside, like sure, it's a straight line, it's a street.
Yeah. Once
But
you
if you're
enter a
like trying to
casino, though,
yeah, once you enter a building, yeah, you think like, oh, let me cool off, I see this casino's connected to this one. I can like, save a few blocks in the cool. Like, expect that to add at least 15 minutes to your walk because like you're just gonna be zigzag because it's a casino, right?
Yep.
Casinos are meant to get you lost in them, so
Yeah.
you hit the slots more.
Yeah,
So
some of them are
keep that in mind.
interconnected, like Bellagio, Aria, MGM Park. The trams run. There's a tram that runs between the three of them, and then Bellagio, Caesar's Palace. There's a direct connection between those two casinos. But yeah, no, it's very easy to get lost in a lot of these places.
All right. You guys can't let me get lost, but that's okay. I'm probably gonna just be.
We got you, man.
Yeah,
We
we're
got
gonna.
yeah,
You guys are gonna. I'm gonna be like tied to the setups. I know I will be. I
don't even
did
worry.
that.
Like, if you're lost,
I mean,
just find Osu. He knows. He's the Magellan of the area.
It's fine though. It's fine though, cause like the last time I went to a convention, it was like a big convention, and I just hung out at the fucking arcade. So I don't see any reason that I'm going to any of those places. I just want to be in the casual setups, which is why I'm even doing this shit.
Yeah, no,
So.
be very careful with your gambling expenditure.
Oh no, yeah, no, no, I'm good. Yeah, that's a point in my favor.
Because these places do not exist for you to win money. They exist.
Oh no, oh no, they don't. I know.
oh yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say in terms of hotels, like if you can, stay at one of those connected hotels. If this is your first Evo and you're able to cut it, like I would say definitely stay at Mandalay Bay because it's just the easiest way. Like Luxor is connected, but it is still a little bit of a walk to get
It's
there.
like 15 to
So, like,
20 minutes. So yeah, it's
so
rough.
if you're trying to like make it to your pools and stuff,
Show up to your pools on
Mandalay
time.
Bay.
Don't risk it.
The thing is, even the Mandalay Bay hotel tower, the hotel room towers, they're on the opposite side of the hotel from the convention center. So
From the
it's
convention
going to-
center, yeah.
So yeah, that is another thing to segue into. Be prepared to walk a lot.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, get that
Some
cardio up.
comfy shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't try to bring your worn out shoes that you
Alright.
haven't played since before the
I'm
work
gonna
boots.
buy a new pair of sneakers just to go.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what?
My
don't-
time
And
to
break them
shine.
in. And break
Don't-
them
Yeah.
in before
Don't
you
bring in
get there.
Tim's. Sorry, everybody from New York. Like you're gonna have a bad time.
So one thing you can do because like I have a problem if I stand on my feet because I have bony feet. They swell up real bad, especially when it's hot or dry, which Vegas is all of those things. One thing that can be really good is if you wear compression socks, they'll be really hot, but they'll like help keep your feet from swelling up and help them be comfortable. Insoles can help a lot because you'll be on hard floors probably most of the time you're walking. And the biggest tip by far is get what our own Brett calls the tournament chair. It's like a Coleman event stool. It's like folds down to the size of a book, and you can put it in your stick bag with your stick.
That sounds
And
sick.
it's just a chair you can sit in.
Man, that was the tech, man. There was like 1 or 2 years where that thing was like $6.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was yeah.
Yeah,
We
just
we discovered that and we brought a bunch of them.
That's going
Just
in
be
my,
careful.
my
remember,
luggage.
I remember seeing Brett carry that stuff all the way around like anime conventions and stuff like that. That fool would be parked up next to like the autograph rooms like hours before like that shit even opens up. So like I've
It's
seen
like,
it.
oh, I gotta
It's
wait in
true.
line? No problem. I ain't standing up. I'm sitting down.
Bring
Yeah,
your
so
chair.
yeah,
Bring
I'm
your
on my
battery pack.
Change
Yeah,
your
yeah,
life.
yeah. That sounds.
The only thing you got to be worried about it is that people will steal that shit because they were desperate for chairs. Any chair you leave anywhere at Evo, somebody will take.
Even the
Yeah.
chairs that are put out for like the pools and for like the side tournament areas. Oh, that happened to me. I think it's even on video during the Uni tournament in 2017 or 2018.
Oh, that's horrible.
Like people, I was doing commentary for Uni, and people kept stealing my chair. Like I would stand up to deal with something because I was running other stuff, and then somebody would jack my chair
We're gonna
and be
put
like, "What
yeah.
happened to it?" And then I have to go get another one. This happened like 3-4 times.
We're gonna put
throughout the
reflective
tournament.
paint or reflective tape on the chairs.
Now we're gonna put
I have
RFID
definitely
devices on all
seen.
the chairs.
I've definitely seen somebody at a pool set up, like they sat down, they plugged in their stick or something. Like the TO or something was talking to them, they couldn't hear him, so they stood up to like try to hear them better and like talk with them. And then when they went to sit down, they like fell flat on their ass because there was no chair there. Somebody took their chair. Like, and this was like in the span of like a minute or something, right? So yeah, people are people are always tired at Evo, want to sit down. So
yeah,
you
so
know.
that's another.
or
that's
you-
another
or use
thing.
the chairs to
Yeah.
watch a hype match, and stand on top of the chair or something. So
Make
but
sure the
it's-
chair
yeah,
you were
it's,
using is still there.
yeah, always look down before you sit down.
Okay, that is those are some very interesting pieces of advice. Daryl, did you have any like one big tip aside from the hotel talk?
Let's talk food really quick.
All right.
Yo, my favorite spot to take anyone who's like, it's like my favorite thing is I always link up with a bunch of the international fools. So like one year it was the UK anime scene, another year was actually like Team French Bread, and typically on like either Sunday and or Thursday, those are my freest days at Evo. I'll take them to a restaurant called Hash House. If you want to, if you want to show people what American food looks like, and they're definitely from out of the country, Hash House a Go Go is the spot.
And if you're hungry, they will sedate. They will satiate you, guaranteed. They offer. That's kind of one of their things. They offer a ridiculous amount of food. Do not
Yeah,
order extras. You do not need them.
yeah. The portions are enough to feed at least 3 people. Like
It's
I
ridiculous.
remember, so it was like me and Terry. We got invited by Team French Bread to go have breakfast with them. So I made the decision, yeah, let's go to Hash House. And then one of the programmers, he wanted a burger. I was like, all right, we got you, He orders like the biggest
yeah.
burger. That fool did not finish half of it. it was
The
it was a
burger
lot.
is bigger than his face, and I'm a
Yeah.
little sad. Oh no, I'm not gonna.
Literally.
Yeah, I remember when all the Kohime players in 2016 went out there, went to Hash House after that tournament, and it was like it was a 40 group 40 deep, and it had all the
Yeah,
Japanese players there and
had all
whatnot.
the people running the tournament too came there because I was there too.
Yeah, no, and like the Japanese people, they would find something to order and they would get it, and you would see their eyes bulge out of their heads when they would come in with the plates because it was just these things were like these plates were the size of tires.
Yeah.
For what
They're
it's worth,
ridiculous.
for what it's worth, I am Florida born and raised, so I could probably tackle that food. But I
Oh, yeah,
I will.
Yeah.
I'll-
I mean, my
Not
take
even-
is that I go there like when I first, because I usually get there a few days early, right?
Yeah.
My tech is to go there early, and that way I bring home the leftovers, so that like I have like a little snack here and there. That's basically like another 2 meals. 2 meals are like 2 days worth of snacking. Like when I have to come by to the hotel room, I'll be like, oh, let me just eat a little bit of this leftovers real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the tech is definitely get the chicken and waffles if you want to save some and cut if you want to save some of that meal afterwards and devour it when you get back to the hotel
Yeah,
room.
do not feel bad about asking for a doggy bag because
Yeah, they know.
They know.
Yeah, they already know.
All right. That is interesting. I must say, I guess, one thing that I really do want to do. I know a lot of people in the area listen to this show. I really want to meet as many of you as I can. So if you are at Evo this year, please let me know. I would love to say hi. I would love to get a picture. I'd really like to meet some fighting game developers as well. But mostly people in the community.
Yeah, that actually is one of the cool things about Evo, getting to meet several, the developers and several of games from multiple publishers and developers. It's like I think it's like who I've run into it, like bunch of people, people from Namco, from Arxis, French Bread.
I have literally no idea what I'd say to those people. I would be
NRS. Double
sometimes
helix,
they
iron
won't
down-
even
yeah.
say like who they are. They'll just like hang out with like a lot of
Oh,
the, like the
yeah.
foreign developers. They'll just hang out with like players and stuff and be like, oh, how do you like the game and stuff like that. They'll just set you up, and then like once you start figuring out who they are, it's like, oh, yo, you made this.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're the dev, or like you're the lead artist or something like, right? Yeah.
That's literally what happened at the Kohime dinner, because we're all introducing each other, and then one of the Japanese guy stands up and introduces himself, and he's like, "Oh, I'm the director of Kohime at Unknown Games," and everyone's like, all the Americans are like, "What?
That's
Like,
you,
how did like
bro?
yeah?"
How'd you
And it's
get
like,
here?
'cause-
How'd
'cause
you get
people, I think people notice like there's this guy who is not like intensely watching these games but not actually playing in the tournament. And I'm like, who is he? And it turns out he's the director.
He makes the thing. That's crazy. I don't know how I'd react to that. So I'm really looking forward to that in general. I have a picture. I want to get like a picture with Kevin Shotokan on our side. I want to get a picture with him. Like,
He's really hard to miss. He's definitely
I'm gonna grab him and I'm gonna be like, because him and I are both Kevin H, and we both run wikis, so I'm like, we're the same person. Yeah. So I'm gonna grab a picture with him. That I'm looking forward to.
Who's who?
Yeah, which one of us is the real?
I
The
will
Wiki
say
Illuminati.
conversely, like the flip side of that coin of like, oh, you can meet anybody, is that if you meet up somebody and you really want to hang out with them, you try to do what you can to hang out with them then and there. Because then when you say like, oh yeah, let's meet up later, nah.
Yeah,
that's
nah,
not
nah,
happening.
nah,
Like, it's definitely not happening. Like, there's maybe been like 2 times where I've actually done that, and only because we both made like a very concerted effort to do that, and like had to basically cancel other plans.
Yeah,
to do
no.
that,
What I'm
so.
gonna do is like I said, like if you see me, say hi, or I will say, hey, I'm here, and I will probably, have my phone and be like, hey, here, come over to whatever this, we'll say hi and we'll talk or whatever, and I'll probably be all over the the setups, keep making sure things are going. So, I guess first thing that I should mention is that
I was gonna say as a side note of that, don't be afraid to ask to talk to like those developers or top players or whatnot at the event if you run into them. Just don't be weird.
Yeah, don't be weird.
Just try to. It's like, I mean, most people are generally fairly friendly. I mean, and if it's the right place or the right situation, they might even, if they're at a casual setup or something, maybe you might even get some games.
Big one is when people are looking for places to eat. If people are saying, "Hey, who wants to come eat?" Usually that means like, "Hey, like pretty much anyone, come with us and eat."
Yeah,
if it's like a very private thing, they'll like speak to people privately. So don't be afraid to like ask, "Yo, can I come along to eat with you guys?" If you want to go hang out with people and be social.
Yeah, just don't stiff the bill, please.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Oh yeah, because for people not in the U.S., you are expected to tip. Usually about 8. Well, in a large party, most places in Vegas will put the gratuity on the bill automatically, so you don't need to calculate it, and you have to pay it that way. It's typically about 18%.
Plan accordingly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess another tip about food, there's you can eat anywhere. I would like to hear everybody's favorite place that they like to eat. I know DJ Cream already talked about Hash House A Go Go.
I'd also want to put out a special shout outs to the Win Buffet.
The buffet. Oh yeah, the Win Buffet. I think out of any of the buffets, yeah, that's the one.
It's like Win Buffet and like the Wicked. It's like the Wicked Spoon in Cosmo. That one's all right.
Yeah, that's a good place.
Oh, Wicked Spoon. Oh wait, okay, I thought those were the same. Yeah.
No,
to me, it's Wicked Spoon. Wicked Spoon is my number one choice.
Shibarizu
buffet is also really good too.
You do have to go to a buffet.
Yeah,
I love buffets.
The one I was going to suggest is the Bacchanal at Caesars. They had renovated that a few years back.
Yeah.
It is not cheap. It's one of the more expensive buffets, but it is also one of the better buffets. And also be aware, like those popular buffets will have lines. Although I think over now you can like sign up. I don't know if it's online or on site and be like, well, I want to get a reservation for this time. And then just get that. But it's still, yeah, just be prepared.
Hot
Okay.
tip:
Be
be
prepared to
careful
eat.
with the crab legs, because I cracked one and cut my thumb open once.
Oh yeah, you can't
How
do
are you
that.
Chris in
Yeah,
comic?
you can't. Yeah, you can't do that. That yeah.
No, crab legs. Dude, you asked me and Terry, we're crab connoisseurs, dude. So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we
no.
know
legs
about
are-
crab up here in NorCal.
yeah, so crab legs, I can feel that. That can be kind of rough, especially if you're not used to eating crab.
I am
Crab
used
takes a
to
lot.
eating
I ate
crab
the hell
though,
out of
so
crab. It's just they don't give you the crackers when you're at the buffet. Like, you got to do it with your hands.
No.
Bring your own.
I
Yeah,
will
dude,
say
I think they might take them from me on the airplane.
there are some
Yeah.
amazing restaurants in Vegas. Like it's Vegas's restaurant scene is ridiculous, actually.
Mhm.
The one I was gonna call out is, I mean, this is off strip, but it's pretty close, so it's not that far of a drive. Was Ramen Sora, which I think we've actually been to a couple times, or at least
Oh,
I've
that
been
one's
there.
hell off the strip. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually across the street from Game Nest, which is an actual arcade in Vegas. And that's a nice place, especially for like music game players. But that ramen place has had the best broth I had ever had at a ramen place in the U.S.
all right.
Yeah, ramen store is nice. I would say my favorite place to take players to, especially international folks, is Tacos El Gordo.
Hey,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Ooh,
Tacos El
that
Gordo,
does sound
shout
pretty
outs for
good.
being open hella late.
Open hella late. It's on the strip.
Yeah,
It's
are we
fucking
are we
good, and it's not too expensive. So, yeah.
are we running like a
that's
late
my
night
favorite
shuttle
spot.
to Tacos El Gordo at like midnight?
I mean, I definitely have before. I've taken like Japanese Marvel players there. I've taken
That's true. A lot of like the international scene,
European
like
VSAV.
a
Yeah,
lot of the international players, they don't know what real good like
Mexican
Mexican
is.
food is about. And then like that's a life changing like event for them sometimes.
Definitely. Yeah. So Tacos El Gordo is originally from Tijuana, down in Mexico. Also like a bunch of them in San Diego. So yeah, I love that place. That's definitely one of my favorite places.
We're gonna be holed up in a taco place, looking all kinds of burnt out. That's gonna be our group photo.
I mean, if you are used to taco places, you know how it gets like at that kind of like midnight hour rush. Think it's like that, but like times 4 because it's Vegas, right?
Oh shit!
So
All right.
yeah, so it's definitely busy, but since it's fast food, the lines go by fast. You're not there
Yeah.
waiting hours.
Yeah,
That
It's
can
not
be
like
at
the
some
In and
other
Out on the
places.
strip. The In and Out on the strip is like a
Oh, the
tourist
In and
trap.
Out,
Don't do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
No,
Don't do that.
no, like
Um,
that place is actually pretty fast. It's just they have so much business.
Yeah,
yeah.
the throughput there is
That's definitely
insane.
more of a numbers thing. Yeah. The other place I do want to call out is Earl of Sandwich. I forget if it's close to. I don't think it's close
It
to.
is not. It's at like the Hard
Okay,
Rock, I
it's
think.
far now. Oh,
No,
okay,
Planet
it's far
Hollywood.
now. Okay, Planet Hollywood. Oh, okay, so it's far now. I forget. There's a few years where EVO was close to there, and to me that was like my number one spot, just because it's probably the cheapest food on the strip. It's just
Where's
it's just
that
service.
like that food court that has like the Popeyes in it? The one we go to like every year.
That was in the Excalibur, is it not? Oh wait,
Yeah,
no.
it's near the Excalibur.
Yeah, it's like down the street. It's like down the street on the
Oh,
strip.
there's like a strip mall across the street from it or
Oh, that
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one.
dude, it's been a long
Yeah.
time, so I don't remember what casino it's nearby.
The nice thing
Anymore?
about that like food court is that the food there is at like regular prices for those restaurants rather than like on the
Mhm.
strip prices for those restaurants. But it is like a hole in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the Mandalay Bay food court because it's right there on the way to the convention center.
Yeah,
is
but the
super
food
expensive,
prices are jacked up though.
Yeah, the food prices are
prices
jacked up.
expensive.
However, people will put setups there.
Set up,
True.
yeah, there's like that was like the French bread scene set up like
Yeah.
2019, no 2018.
The hotel hasn't
Where-
kicked us out for it yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah, it was hella
yeah,
funny because like there's I feel like the stage in uni where it's actually a food court, that was a super meta call from the scene. That was hella funny.
yeah, right. And it's like,
Yo.
oh, this is actually a fucking uni stage.
This is where
right here.
people
It's
go,
Just
yeah.
just a random ass food court. Yeah.
That reminds me. Shout
yeah,
outs
I
to
guess,
the
Oh, go ahead.
yeah. Shout outs to the Evo reveal stream. Daryl said it was an SNK background, and I'm still thinking about that.
Yo, Tom Cannon, up your chess game, homie. You look like you're getting smoked the entire time in that background.
He was fighting for his life.
That was really funny. Yeah, Terry, what were you saying?
I was gonna say yeah, for those who aren't familiar with the parlance, like on the Strip, Evo is on a hotel, and the Las Vegas Strip is just that Las Vegas Boulevard, I believe is the street called, where all the big casinos and big hotels and attractions are. Off the Strip is, not there. Traveling between on and off the Strip, there is public transportation. I have taken a bus to Chinatown once before. I would not recommend it. I would say if you're going to go off Strip, I would say even if you're going to go on Strip and you want to travel, probably, getting a ride share with a bunch of your homies is probably the best way to do it. If you do want to do it,
there are a ton of Lyft and Uber drivers going out in Vegas.
Oh, hell yeah.
Constantly
Everywhere.
24 hours a day. What the?
Yeah, expect high prices because it's surging all the time. But also, carve out some time for your trip, because just because Google Maps says it's going to take you 15 minutes to get there, don't mean a thing. So,
especially at night.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that traffic is brutal.
All right.
Yeah. And that traffic doesn't stop like ever. There's no like downtime really. It slows down a little bit, but there's always traffic. So.
Oh yeah, if you got some free time, like walk up and down the Strip like at nighttime. Like it's still gonna be hella hot. It's probably gonna be like high 90s. But like if this is your first time at Vegas, its personality really shines through at nighttime.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So
you may not think it's night though, because it is still super.
I'm gonna show up, and you guys are gonna be fed up with Vegas like day one, and I'm gonna be having the time of my life.
Vegas, yeah, I'm already done with Vegas.
I'm gonna be like, this place is so cool, holy shit! And you guys are gonna be like, yeah, can we go? Are we done?
Roller coaster at like New York, it's sick.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god, these drinks are so long.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be the most, I'm gonna be a fucking annoying tourist.
Like, alcohol.
Don't tell Tone.
Man, I really wish I had that picture of me like sitting down dead in the Catherine suite eating a sandwich.
Oh yeah, man! Shout outs to the Catherine suite.
But yeah,
shout outs to Tone. That's my boy.
I will never forget him saying, "I just realized we're in a pyramid."
This fool was hella gone. That fool did more. He stayed outside the hotel room more than like anybody else. Because I remember that fool.
Yeah.
That fool did an all-night bender, and he started like gambling with hella people. Like I remember one time,
who was he with? He was with like Dr.
He was with like our girl Shannon
Bailey.
and like
Shannon.
Freaking like it was either Troy or Buck. He was like rolling dice with.
Yeah. Shout outs to Tone, man. I miss my 707 homies.
Oh boy.
But
yeah. If you're a grown ass adult, Fat Tuesdays and hit like gamble responsibly, because there's gonna be hella OGs out there also gambling.
No.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like you'll just see these FGC legends like playing craps or something like that. Looking hella happy or hella forlorn.
I was shooting dice with, I think it was like freaking Snake Eyes, and yeah, the name lives on, dude. I don't trust that fool shooting dice at all.
I don't know.
I'd say one more food related thing. Bring like protein bars, or
bring a snack.
Having a snack to like get you through the middle of, because you're gonna eat breakfast hopefully, and you're gonna eat a huge dinner, but there's all that middle of the day where you're gonna have nothing in the tank.
Yeah, yeah. If you're actually like driving around, hit up a CVS or a Walgreens or something. Grab grab snacks and a case of water for sure.
Yeah, just grab like a whole case of. Don't buy an individual bottle. Just buy the whole case. It'll be cheaper. You'll need all that water. Carrying all that water around is annoying. Maybe that won't be as necessary this year. Hopefully? Question mark.
Yeah, do it.
But you probably should still have it.
Do it.
Yeah,
because you're gonna need it in your hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my biggest tips. And that's not just for Vegas and Evo, but for any major. Is like if you get there earlier, I always like to travel like at least the day before, right? and I go to like a grocery store slash pharmacy store or whatever, pick up a case of water, pick up hella snacks like protein bars and stuff like that, and then just bring them to the room and then split it with my roomies.
Yeah.
There's never been a chance where somebody was like, nah, actually, I don't want that. They might say that in the beginning, and then like day one they're like, oh shit, this is like, you saved my life, man. Like, oh man, are we gonna go back again? Like
day two, after consuming so much alcohol, you're like, oh my god, I'm so dehydrated. I need some water.
I guess all of us in a way, but I know in years past I would drive up, so I would actually go to Costco the day before and buy like a bunch of water, sports drinks,
buy your
protein
booze outside of town too.
Yeah, buy the booze outside of town if you can, and just
on the strip,
bring all that.
Alcohol is a premium, bro. Like, it is donkulous.
Don't do that if you're flying in. Unless you should like bring like a box of protein bars if you can fit it in your carry-on.
If you're flying in, duty free.
Yeah.
Oh, that is true. You can also just pick it up at the alcohol at the duty free shop. But
you guys are not making me do that. You guys are not making me do that. I'm saying it right now.
No. We got a local there, dude.
You got the local hookup.
Hey, you're lucky you haven't been to an EVO yet, so you don't owe any of us drinks yet.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, dude,
all in due time.
I still owe some of my previous TO's drinks. It's bad. They're gonna have to like come in.
I still owe Mad Scientist like a whole case of beer for all the changes he made for me to CC Caster way back in the day for offline events.
I really need to give like Hagare and Gibby like a whole ass bottle.
I am less interested in the tables and more interested in the, speaking of the Gundam tables that we will probably have at the event, because I love me some offline Mbon, and Brett is already out there saying, hey, I'm bringing Gundam. We're coming back.
And we know from experience, we're not stopping Brett.
We're not stopping Brett. So
we've tried.
And I'm in the Mbon camp as well, so I will also be pushing for that.
Hopefully Kano Ueda actually like flies out again. She's been a surprisingly like highlight. Yeah. Like, it's hella funny because like every year like I've looked at Kano Ueda play. She's okay, but like she always brings like the hardest ringers from like friggin' like like Shinjuku Sportsland or something, like one of the hot top tier like Mbon like players out there. And it's like
she just hits up the scene and she's like, yo, I'm going to EVO, who wants to be my partner?
And they'll always make top 3. It's crazy.
I'm a big fan. So
I mean, that goes with any scene, right? Like, one of the nice things about EVO is that it's so international, right? So like, if you have love for a game, for one, try to make an event happen there, so there's a reason for people to travel there. And two, if it's happening, then talk with the folks there. Look at the brackets. Once either whether it's one of the main games or it's a side game that we run. Look at the brackets. If you see some names in there, like folks that you want to chat it up with, try to figure it out. Try to make some connections there. It's just so much fun. That's definitely one of the highlights. Is just that it's not like Combo Breaker is cool. Don't get me wrong. But the international presence is unmatched at EVO compared to any other tournament. So
I made so many friends, especially the UK anime scene. Like, them fools are hella dope, especially the years where they showed up and
they came out hard one year.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, we were in their suite all night, like the Thursday before EVO, and we even had the Aquapaza exhibition there. And yeah, I will say, even the Japanese players, like, they want to make it work. Like, they want to meet people too. Like, it's kind of exceptional for a lot of these people, especially non-sponsored players nowadays, to be traveling out there. And the language barrier is definitely there in a lot of instances, but they want to make it work too, and people figure it out generally. So don't be shy. I say just don't be weird.
And actually, kind of related to that, I would say if this is your first time to Vegas and you want to do, things outside of EVO, like, if you want to watch some shows or, whatever is around there to do in Vegas, I would say, like, if some Japanese players are coming, hit them up, because they probably already they're going to have tickets. Like, they love going to the shows. They love going to, like, these, crazy American places that
They love they
like,
love going
are
to the gun club.
Vegas-y. Yeah, yeah. So
You got a minigun
yeah,
there.
you can hang out with them, make some friends, and hang out with some cool people, and get to do Vegas in general too. So
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it
and
is good.
oh man, they will love you for it too. Like if you're if you're an English speaker and you can like kind of help translate for them. Oh man, they'll love you for it.
All right. Well, that all sounds incredibly fun, and this has been incredibly enlightening. I'm sure that I can say that, and it's still gonna be unlike anything I think it could be. So,
Oh, it's gonna be a blow up. It'll be fun. It'll also be a blow up.
oh yeah, oh yeah. But you know what? That's what we're here for. So, I'm gonna do it again, guys. That is August 5th through 7th, 2022. And I guess just to remind everybody, this is kind of an announcement of an announcement that we are working on getting the way for you guys to get in the door with us and work together to make some super awesome community tournaments happen. So look forward to
Please
that.
wait warmly.
Please wait warmly. Yeah, I love that. Shoot, man, this is gonna be. There's been kind of a lot of talk about whether or not this Evo would be as big, right? Because the change in management might put some people off, and then maybe the game that they want isn't there, or they don't want to go to Vegas, or there's other events that are coming around this year that people have early reg for, and so on and so forth. But I mean, this event is gonna speak to such a large audience of people, right? And that international factor can't be ignored, and also the kind of more mainstream, casual, I don't know, spectator appeal that it has, right? Like they're gonna do a lot this year. We're talking about an event run by we say it all the time, but it bears repeating, the combo breakers, people, right? So they're gonna really lean into that convention center approach that a lot of people, I think, in the past had kind of some criticism of, because they were like, oh, they're deprioritizing the tournaments in favor of showing things off and being a center of news and not of competition. Well, this year it's going to be the news, the competition, and the convention aspect, because this is I think people are kidding themselves when they think this is going to be a small Evo. I think that this is going to be the biggest Evo ever. I think there's a yeah.
Oh, yeah. As I said, I think there's some weird dynamics in play that wouldn't be in here normally. One, the pandemic or the endemic or whatever it ends up being. Maybe we get hit with the Lake River, and who knows? This is not the podcast or the discussion. But I mean, especially for international travel, they're like, what travel restrictions will still be in place? What travel restrictions will be in place when people are planning? Because you usually have to plan this stuff out months in advance.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you're traveling from outside the U.S. So maybe fine then, but it wasn't 3 months ago, and then like a bunch of people can't make it. It's also kind of a transitory year especially for the biggest fighting games. It's like, yeah, we got a new Guilty Gear last year, new Melty Blood, new KOF. That's good, great, excellent. But it's like, Street Fighter is the big question, and they announced Street Fighter 6. We know that's a thing.
I think that this year has the opportunity to speak to people that EVO doesn't normally speak to, right? Like we talk about, 2019 was like, oh, Eunice, on stage. This is like Eunice on stage like 3 times over, kind of thing we're talking about here. Like,
yeah, it's like, well, what is this Melty game? Like people.
Yeah. I think people who would otherwise not be invested are going to be, looking at this, and then they're going to look at, hopefully, the side event lineup, and they're going to. I really hope that the full event, the full details can be figured out sooner than later, because, like you said, this stuff does require a significant amount of time and money poured into it to even show up. So the sooner that stuff gets figured out, the better. And obviously, we are looking to make that happen. But when all of this gets round up into a ball, we're not talking about a niche surprise, on the main stage, or, a strong retro scene at the side events, or, we're not talking about any one thing. We're talking about everything. Like there are so many people that have an opportunity to show up here, right? Like we were talking about Vortex Gallery and the direction that we take. Like 3D fighters underrepresented on the main stage. Anime, there's even more anime games that are, fresh in people's mind.
Man, don't even. That makes me sad that VF5 isn't the Ultimate Showdown isn't on there. Even, but I mean, the
mean-
netcode that they launched that with, it's like, man.
Okay, for what it's worth, I think VF5 netcode not the best. But I mean, the VF5 community, I think would be very, very interesting.
They've already been rattling. I've seen calls for that. I've seen calls for Soul Calibur scene.
I was gonna say Soul Calibur.
I know both those VF players and the Soul Calibur guy. Like the people who still play those games, they are super hardcore.
I feel like there might
about
be
that
a
life.
VF announcement this year because the VF people have already been making it pretty clear, like the developers that is, that VF Esports was a way bigger success than they expected it to be. And they already have plans for something else VF related at some point. So I don't know, maybe we'll get like a teaser for something there.
And they actually have new management on that game in the first time in, well, I guess since almost 20 years with Aoki.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's been a long. Like that game is old.
It has rollback now.
Yeah.
That's how old it
really
is.
Nice to
That's
see
how...
something at EVO for VF. Like, Dippy, when was that time they ran like an exhibition when like VF5-ish came out?
That was
like
2012.
Pluto was playing it. Yeah,
they had
like
a bigger
long time ago.
They had a bigger pot for that than Street Fighter 4. It was hilarious.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
I just remember it being a body
right.
montage of like Fudo's Shun just destroying people.
Yeah.
No, like the top 4 was compared because the top was
Oh yeah, like
was
top
Fudo.
4. There were some real good VF players there, but
it was all Shuns because it was Inazan, it was Kissa, it was Fudo. They were all Shuns, and there were there was an L Blaze player who was ridiculous, and I'm blanking on who it is, and I hate that.
Right.
Someone's gonna correct me, and I'm gonna feel so bad.
High level Shun matches are like really fun to watch too because like
they are.
Shun is one of those characters like Chizuru and KOF where like when you see a good player and like you try and follow the neutral, you just feel like you're being gaslit the entire time and nothing's real.
It's like, where is his hitbox? I don't know. His spheres, I guess.
I don't know, bro.
Know.
Somewhere on the floor. Yeah, it's not really clear.
How did he get all these drinks? What even happened?
Knockdown. That's what happened.
Every round, an extra 3 drinks. Get hype.
Yeah,
I think it just goes to show that VF isn't on the lineup, but there's still a lot of hype moments there, and kind of like what Shibariza was saying, like whether it's you're going there for the main games, whether it's you're going there for a side game, whether you're just going there to just be a part of like the celebration of the FGC that EVO is, it's cool. It's a cool event. It's definitely a lot, for better or for worse. There's a lot that happens there. But if you want to find your own thing, like your own little niche there, like it's very easy to, and still have a lot of fun. And to me, I think that's outside of all the organizing stuff I do, like the funnest times I've had is not on the floor, not playing in the tournaments, but it's after all of that, being in the hotel room, with the homies from all over the world, just kicking it, just chatting up, playing some games, getting some drinks, having some food together. And to me, that's like, again, like something that is what really makes EVO for me is those like after hours moments, just hanging out with people. And don't get me wrong, all the other stuff is cool, but that's something that even I can't do at other majors, that you can do at EVO. So.
Yeah, that is probably, it's the size of EVO is its biggest detriment in some ways, but it's also the biggest benefit of it. You will just, the sheer scope of the number of games and people you will run into is something that you really don't get at not only just any fighting game tournament. This is no gaming event like it, period.
Yeah.
It is weird. Like fighting game events in general, especially when you look at the greater esports scape, are very weird in that regard. And that's just kind of how they came up, because this is a thing that's been going on for 25 plus years in some instances. It's like, Evo going all the way back to B3, final round, went 20 plus years. There are some, you've got stuff like Cooperation Cup and Beat Tribe Cup that have been around for 20 plus years. Just kind of grew out of that. But it's definitely unique. And I honestly think it is a good experience. At least once.
At least
Yeah,
once.
it's a testament of like the open bracket system. Like, like what other esports can you enter like a bracket and like play someone who's like top 100 in like their respective game? Like, I can't show up randomly to the international as like a spectator and randomly run into like Cloud9 or someone, right? So
Yeah, man.
like,
if
EVO's a
you're a
different thing.
certain egotistical nut job who thinks that people beating top players in bracket is a fluke, then maybe you wouldn't like, Evo. But for the rest of us, that's just called getting smoked. So, if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about.
It happens.
Yeah.
It
Get
happens
smoked.
And it's cool too, like when like all of a sudden like you're just like on the side, and then over in the corner of your eye you just see like some people like start walking that way, and then like more people start walking, then a few people start running, then people are dragging chairs, and you're like, oh shit, it's like
Something's going down.
it's like the year for us that I remember that mostly is because it was my local homeboy. It was like, yo, Chris G is losing in Marvel 3 to fucking this Jill
Senior
player.
taxi, homie.
Yeah, or the senior taxi. There's a Win Zero from NorCal, and they were like,
Oh,
yo,
yeah.
this Jill player is smoking Chris G. Like, when it's not, and they play. What's his team? He plays Zero, but he doesn't
He has
play Zero.
Jill.
He's not a Zero player. His Zero is like the worst character on his team. He plays Zero, fucking Jill, and Akuma with Fireball assist. And everybody was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And it's just funny, like it's those moments just happen all over the place. All over. And even like not on the tournament floor, you're just walking around. You're walking back to your hotel room, and then like you just hear some hype ass hotel room. Like that happens at every major, but like it's different at Evo because like people like put signs on their door, be like, "Come on in." Or
Bro,
they'll leave
sometimes you're just walking down like your hotel hallway, and then you just hear buttons being pressed. It's like, I know this is happening.
Yeah, you can just hear the game down the hall, and you're like, all right, where is it?
Where is it?
One
Where
of my
is
favorite ones is I was walking to my room, and then I heard the click clack clack, and I hear oh. I was like, oh, I know what's going on there. So I knocked on the door. I was like, yo, Marvel. And they were like, yeah. I was like, I was kicking it with them with the Marvel 2. And this was like before it got back with rollback and everything from 5K. And yeah, I was just playing. They were like, yo, you want some drinks? I was like, yeah, I bet. They were like, yo, do you play? I was like, hell yeah, man. It's like it's been a minute since I played like for reals, but I know how to hold it down. Right, all right, they're like, I was like, but y'all got a Dreamcast pad? Because it's funny enough, like I play Marvel 2 way better on pad, on the horrible ass Dreamcast pad, because that's what I trained on all the time. And they're like, pad player. They're like, man, this fool ain't gonna do shit. But nah, here I busted out my Omega Red, and they're like, oh shit, this fool is actually legit. Like, this guy knows how to play. Like, I wasn't like who all was there? Damn, like, fucking, I think Ro was there. Basically like the PS3, 360 Marvel's like the top of that scene at that time.
Oh, it was like Rom Nito and all them fools.
Yeah, Rom Nito was there.
Oh, dude, if Rom Nito's there,
I don't remember their names. Was Beats there? I don't remember. Video was not there.
But yeah,
he was there. He was there earlier. But
Hagara's like Omega Red. That is the most annoying character I've like ever had.
I gotta grab Hagare and watch him play Marvel, because even just like that one time that you and I were talking about character picks in MVC2, I learned so much, just like little bits and things. So I gotta get that, because I like Marvel too. I've been on and off that for a minute.
People call me a VSAF player, but I'm not a VSAF player. I'm a Marvel player.
Until the day I die. VSAF is really Marvel.
Yeah, it's
Omega
the
Red
OG
is a Marvel
anime
character.
Marvel.
No, Omega Red is
what is cute
character
other than Magneto?
Yep.
All right. So
yeah, man. Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments. Just that hotel room experience, and I've met some cool people, randomly that I never would have before.
I just want
Yeah.
to note it's not EVO related, but the best major I ever went to for that sort of thing was the old NEC venue, where it was in a hotel that was a cylinder, and you
Oh,
could
yeah.
actually see across the entire. Yeah, you could see across the entire length of the hotel, so you could, depending on where you were, see almost every other hotel room from anywhere in
every
the
floor.
hotel. So you'd have people just like looking around, and then they would see like, oh, there's Marvel in that room, or is some
You're
guys
like point.
playing
Oh shoot!
Melty
No,
over
third
there, or
floor
it's
on the
like,
other
yo,
side. Yeah.
this somebody running this jank like Mugen fan game. Like, what the heck is that? And you people would just like be just going random places. It was actually ridiculous. The only problem is that the events are too big for a venue like that now. But that was
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it can get ridiculous.
If
Daryl,
we're
do you
doing like
remember?
if
You
we're
remember
doing
final
major
round?
stories. Yeah, I was gonna say final round. Were you there when? Were you there? Oh no, we were. Yeah,
Like if we're talking about just walking in a room, we were in like SK's room once, and he had
dude,
like
I think that was like the first time
we
I
were just
actually
playing
met
all these
Corin.
yeah, that was the first time we like sat down and like really got to know each other.
This
We were
this fool
playing like some
Corin,
poverty
he
ass
money
games
matched me
so
in
loud.
a random game I've never like played.
Yeah, you took my whole dollar because I forgot I needed like a short to reset the infinite for spacing.
And then you get instant. You know how we talked about earlier? People would hear hype in
So
the
what game was
doors,
it?
and then they come.
It was the Masters Fighters.
Oh
I've
no!
never heard of that.
I've never played it, but I saw some dude with a sword. I'm like, this hitbox is gonna be disjointed as hell.
I mean, he's
So-
literally just Jubei. Literally just Jubei.
So yeah,
Alright.
like
He's
that
with
night
the
was
sprites.
real wild because if you know SK, he has on him that thing, and that thing being a book of poverty. So throughout the night, we were just getting hella hype playing whatever the hell we were playing, and then
We got so loud.
we got hella loud. But then before hotel security came to our door, for some reason, randomly, Filipino champ showed up to our door.
Yeah,
Be like,
he
yo,
walked in.
something's
He's
getting
like, "Yo,
hype.
you guys playing some Marvel in here?" And then he took a look at the screen, saw
like
like
Halo
people
3.
playing Blue Breaker Burst, looked, and then just slowly walked backwards out of the room without saying
You remember
anything.
him? He specifically said, "I think I'm in the wrong room."
I
and
think
then
I'm in
Oh
the
yeah,
wrong
no
room.
shit.
He literally did the Homer backslide into the bush gif. He's just like,
Yeah,
I'm
he
out of
walked
here.
backwards. He didn't turn around. Like he
Yeah.
was deeply
not
confused
not
at what he
not
saw.
cultured enough. I'm shaking my head. Not cultured enough. Should have run it. Run the set.
Yeah, champ, you didn't want that smoke home.
Yeah, not good. No good. But yeah. I guess just to wrap it, because this is a long episode. Please look forward to our first kind of call for applications. We're gonna keep doing the TO desk, obviously. I suspect that a couple of these are gonna be very special episodes, right, where we do our lineup reveals that are our tradition in doing this, right? We bring in the first wave of people. Then people ask us, oh, why aren't you running this? And it's because you're not running it. So they're like, oh, can I run it? And then we say, yeah, come on in. And then we do our second reveal. That'll most likely happen again this year. Also, I guess not to cut you off, I do want to say that I will do my best so that we can have an episode of the TO Desk at our physical TO Desk in the venue. I'd love to just hit record right there while everyone's doing their thing and talk about it, bring some people in. So we'll try to make that happen. Really looking forward to see how we can have a presence there.
Like, who do you think we could get on? Do you think we could get like the Hado on, like, or Markman or someone like that?
I mean, I'd love to have Rick, but I am
way
The
too
only
busy.
people
Yeah,
dedicated-
that-
He might have his hands full.
No,
Yeah, that.
You know what? Like in terms of like goals, I really want to do is like I'm pretty sure we can pull either, if not both, of the Cannon brothers to sit down because they're usually not busy at EVO.
Wow,
Surprisingly.
Well, usually by the time Evo's around, they've already done all their work. And
They've done their
delegated the
their
rest.
Yeah,
part
exactly.
of the job is done. Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, I want to sit down.
I
with
would
them
love
and be
to
like,
talk
what's
to.
it like like TO a really early fucking tournament before
Oh,
Smash GG, before internet.
Oh yeah, because it's like, who would go even back earlier than they would? Like, they are like some of the OGs.
Pretty much like only Larry Shinblanca, I think, is like one of the only other people who's been around that long.
Big E is pretty close.
Yeah, Big
Yeah.
E too.
I would also say, Japanese players, devs, would be interesting. I would,
Ooh.
yeah, I would like to, at least say hi to someone
Oh,
from.
we should get a VTuber avatar for Kimone if he comes.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'd love to talk to somebody from French Bread.
Can we do live 2D at EVO?
That would be really funny. I mean, it's probably not even the first time.
It's been a minute. Does EVO even have like their own like press booth or anything like that?
I don't think
Not in the past.
so.
I don't think so.
Because like I've worked enough like anime conventions to know that there's like press booths and stuff like that. I'm not sure if there's ever one for specifically like fighting game tournaments.
I got no
I don't
idea.
think
Well,
so.
all right, actually I know. Like almost all the time there's no press booth, but there's usually a VIP lounge or some shit like that.
Yeah, I know Evo does have
Yeah,
a VIP
like
lounge
mixers and stuff
because
like
I've
that,
actually had access to that in the past. But it's a big enough event for that.
Okay, so
don't think I've
so
heard.
so TLDR, we need to get Kimone's VTuber on the show somehow.
Yes.
I mean, like at EVO Japan, like Sakura UK, like the VTuber, like won BB tag or did really well in it. I can't remember
Got
which
top 8.
exactly. Yeah, she got top, 8.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
She did
surprised if
that
that
live,
happens
but
again.
we could do one better maybe and like make it so she can actually have her avatar up.
That would be pretty sick.
Would be.
But
All right.
yeah.
Future goals.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, TLDR, like, come through, basically. Come through to EVO, especially if you haven't been there before. I think this is probably, I mean, barring the freaking pandemic, this will be one of the coolest EVOs to go to. We'll do our thing as we do. Give us at least a few weeks to get our stuff situated. And if squad up and come through and rep your games. It's always a cool thing to see the oh shoot, like I didn't even know that was a game, and they're like, yeah, we want to run something. That's always fun.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a fighting game, dude. We do puzzle games all the freaking time. Like if you want to do a rhythm game, if you give us the idea how to run that logistically, sure.
Oh, what were we trying to run one year? Yeah, there was some
DDR. Somebody wanted it's like
2020, but it got canceled. Yeah, we did have somebody come through to try to do a TDR tournament. But yeah, I mean, we could go off of so many stories. Like we all have like a ton of stories. I think
we could do a whole podcast series on it.
You totally could.
Gotta save some of those.
I would say the best thing is come through and make some of your own stories.
Yeah, for real.
That's what this is all about.
That's what the real fun is.
And look
Literally
forward
the
to
friends you met along the way.
Looking forward to
that's
talking to you.
why people say fighting games are something so great. It really, people think it's like the FGC is a stupid term, and it kind of is because it's actually a number of sub communities that are loosely affiliated, but the community aspect of it is very real. Especially in these
100%.
smaller games, like you definitely get to know people.
100,
you get connected.
100%.
You sometimes know these people far beyond, however long they end up playing these games. Like there's some friends that I've learned that I've been friends with for 20 plus years at this point.
Yeah, I feel like I've played everyone that I've ever met in an Aquapaza bracket, but if you throw me into like a Guilty Gear Strive bracket, I don't know anybody in that mofo.
All right. So, yeah, if you're going to bring Elden Ring PvP to EVO, let us know in advance, please. So yeah, I think that's it for us. We will be back next episode, and please look forward to more announcements in the future. See you guys in Las Vegas. That's all from us.
Peace, y'all.